Welcome to MMA Dogs. My name is Hector, and as always, I want to thank you for tuning in. Now, tonight, we got a very special guest here at my house, and he is the other half of MMA Dogs, and his name is Dan, the MMA Dog. There he
Hi
is.
guys.
There's my dog. I got him working real hard. He's got the computers up, and he's getting everything ready for tomorrow. And a big thank you to all of our clients. A big thank you to all of our supporters. And here we go, baby. UFC 181. Wee! Can't wait. Can't wait. Turns out that this card is way too good to turn down. So my dog and I will be heading out to Vegas tomorrow morning. And we're going to make a quick trip out of it, because we've got some other commitments and things. So we'll be in town for about 36 hours or so, maybe around that time, and really looking forward to it at the Mandalay Bay. And let's start off with the first fight of the night, baby. We have a couple of prospects here, in Klay Collard and Alex White. This is a very interesting fight. Two guys who are both coming off losses. Klay Collard, coming off an incredible battle, very entertaining battle with Max Holloway. And Alex White is just a stud. I mean, this guy is a tough guy. And he's committed now. He's fighting full time. And so, for this fight, as far as betting goes, I have to say it's a do not bet. I don't recommend a bet on this fight. And the reason I say that is because who knows? Who knows who is going to show an improvement, perhaps a vast improvement in skill set. And the line reflects that. Pretty much it's a pick'em fight. But I can't ignore what I saw out of Klay Collard. I really can't. So I do have to go with him for the pick. I will say by decision. But if Alex White pulls off the upset, I won't be surprised. But let's just say I'll be more surprised if Collard loses than if White loses. So very close. I don't recommend putting a bet on it. I say for this one, let's watch them fight, because whoever ends up victorious here is going to be a prospect, even more so than they already are. So, and if we see a really close fight, I could see both guys getting, winner and loser, getting another fight in the UFC. So for this one, although my initial lean and my initial gut told me Collard, I'm going to pass, and we'll wait and see what happens with the featherweight scrap there. For the next one, we move down to the bantamweight. We got the little brother of the champ, Sergio Pettis, and the crowbar, Matt Hobar. And this is an interesting fight because we have a guy in Sergio Pettis who I told you guys since the very beginning that he was overrated. That let me rephrase that. That he is very early, very young in his career. He's only 21 years old, so he still has a lot of time on his hand, a lot of time on his side. And he, in my opinion, he shouldn't be sitting at, what is he right now? -3, -240, -270, laying 2.5 to 1, 2.5. I mean, it's a bit too high right now, in my opinion. But it comes with the name and the style of fighting that he does. But in Hobar, we're gonna have a guy who's gonna want to take him down, hold him down, and not ready to bet on Pettis, the little Pettis yet. So I'm going to say Pettis by decision, and he should win this fight. It's his fight to win or lose, but I don't want to get stuck laying 2.5 to 1 and get literally stuck underneath the opponent and have to watch that. So I'm going to say a pass, but I'm definitely going to go with Pettis by decision. So that, and if it's tempting to put him in a parlay, 2-leg parlay, But for now, I'm going to say pass. And that's going to be it for passing. The rest of them all are going to include bets. Actually, you know what? There's one more that doesn't include a bet, but the rest of them do. So let's jump right into it, baby. Hoo-hoo-wee. So we stay at the 135-pound bantamweight division, but this time we have the girls fighting. So we have Raquel Pennington against Ashley Evans-Smith. And which reminds me, much respect to all the men and women that step into the octagon. You never want to bet more than you can afford to lose. And always want to check your local laws. So Raquel Pennington, Ashley Evans-Smith. Raquel Pennington, to me, is a scrapper. I mean, this girl goes in there, fights. She's got much more on her feet, much more to offer on her feet than she does on the ground. And with Smith, she's got more to offer on the ground than she does on the feet. So it's a striker versus grappler type of matchup. Although I think Pennington, to me, has shown me more. And with Smith, she is a prospect, but she has taken the fight on short notice. And it's her first UFC fight. So I then take a look and see what the market is at, and Pennington's sitting at plus 170, plus 165. I can't ignore that, especially when she was supposed to fight Holly Holm, who we have to assume the UFC was setting her up there. But I think Pennington is no dummy, and I think she is a scrapper. And I expect an honest fight out of her. I expect her to win a decision. So the betting pick will be Raquel Pennington. And I really like her odds here to not only win the fight, but at plus 170. Whew, I can't ignore that. So that'll be the first bet of the night. And I'll go into the breakdown of it in a little bit with you guys. Now for the next one, it's a very, very interesting fight here. We got Corey Anderson, beast in 25-8. Against a guy here from San Diego, Justin Lazy Bones Jones. Now this fight might as well be a heavyweight fight because as I break this down, watching their fights, they are on the same page. Really, they are. I mean, as far as experience goes, as far as talent of the opposition goes, I know Corey Anderson was on The Ultimate Fighter, but you can't put too much stock into that. And they're both undefeated professionally. And Justin Jones is taking this fight on short notice. So automatically you think, okay, that gives Corey Anderson the edge. And it does. But then you take a closer look. And Corey Anderson sitting at minus 400, minus 350 is unbettable, in my opinion. So can't bet that guy. And then I take a look at Jones, and all Jones does is finish fights. That's all he does. He knocks people out. He submits people. So he's a gamer. He's going in there, and he's going in there to finish him. And Corey Anderson's striking defense, that's one of the main reasons I can't bet him. So Justin Jones is going in there with nothing to lose, everything to win. He does fight at 185, but 205 he should be fine against Corey Anderson. The only way, in my opinion, that Anderson wins this fight is if he takes him down, grinds him out. But even then, he can get himself submitted. He can get himself caught with something, get knocked out. And with Jones sitting at plus 300, plus 325, and it's probably going to keep moving up. I like his chances here. I think Jones will catch him here. With a knockout in the first round. I think he's got that type of power, and I'm excited to see how this fight plays out. I'm very, very, very excited for a lot of these underdogs tonight. I think what will happen here in the future is that the UFC is going to start bringing, because the expansion is going so rapidly, so many fighters are getting injured. There's going to be matchups where the odds are not going to truly reflect what is going on in the octagon, and I think this is one of those fights. So Justin Jones for the Lazy Bones Jones for the win. And moving on to the next one, this is a very interesting fight, and a fight that my dog and I spent a good amount of time breaking down, and that's Eddie Gordon versus Josh Saman. Now, we know Gordon from The Ultimate Fighter. He knocked out Diego Lima, who doesn't have a very good striking defense, 170-pound fighter, and Gordon just trucked him, And with Josh Saman, we have a guy who's been injury prone, just jacked. I mean, this guy is just jacked and very, very committed to mixed martial arts. One of the things my dog and I were talking about was the loss of his girlfriend, and how tomorrow is his girlfriend's birthday, and how different Saman looks up there. I mean, he just looks like just a fighter on a mission, just possessed. He looks like Rambo. His nickname should be Rambo.
It's Uncle.
Yeah, but really, it should be. Oh, I mean, this guy just.
At least tomorrow.
This guy's just going in there, and it reminds me of the scientific fact about how when somebody's under a situation, like best example is like a mother protecting her child, or somebody protecting their family, and they just get the strength to do something that most people wouldn't in their mind be able to comprehend, but somehow they're able to do it. And obviously this is no mother saving their child, but in a way Josh Saman has a lot to fight for here in this fight, and I think he's put all his energy and all his effort into it, and I expect him to end up victorious tomorrow night. And he's an underdog, so that is a very interesting fight. I think my dog has something to add to it. Dog, what are you going to add to it?
No, dog, you pretty much covered it. But yeah, I was at his last fight in April last year, and it was a comeback fight for him as a heavy favorite. But as my dog and I talked about, it's one of those things where he is just going to show up possessed.
Yes.
And it's one of those fights that I just can't wait to see.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of those ones that, wow, it's going to be exciting. And a lot of these fights tomorrow night are going to be that way. Speaking of, so for that pick, I have Saman winning by a decision. and that'll be a betting pick, and we'll get into that in a little bit. For the next one, also very interesting. This one just screams to me of MMA math. Just screams to me of just, Faber beats this guy, and then this guy beats Rivera, but Rivera beats Faber. I mean, this just screams of that to me. And although I was not impressed at all with Rivera's performance against Mizugaki, I think we're going to be impressed tomorrow night with his fight against Faber. I think Rivera learned from his fight with Mizugaki, and I think he knows that this is it right here for him. If he can beat Faber, wow, he puts himself right up there. And Faber, he is 35 years old now. 35 years old, been in the game for a long time. 31-7. Rivera's 33, but he's 10-3. So a lot of it not only has to do with age of the fighter, but a lot of it has to do with their record, how many fights they've been in. And with this one, I have no choice. It leaves me no choice but to go with Rivera by first round knockout. I mean, the odds are ridiculous. Just Rivera straight up right now, plus 435, plus 400, plus 425. I mean, it's not like Rivera has no chance whatsoever. The odds, in my opinion, definitely don't reflect what the true odds should be. And even if Faber was sitting around minus 200, I would still say, you know what? It's only a matter of time, like I've said about some fighters before, like Brad Pickett against Chico Camus recently. It's only a matter of time. These guys can be so good for so long and provide so much entertainment and, make us jump up and down and scream and everything. But after a while, their time comes, and I really like Rivera here. And the way I have the bets set up, the way my dog and I set them up is a way where it's going to be very tough to beat us. It's going to be very difficult to beat us, and I think we're going to be winning tomorrow night. So Rivera for the upset, first round knockout, and we're going to be betting it. Dog, you have something to add on this one? I think you do.
Yeah, San Francisco Rivera over California Kid. And
San Francisco over Sacramento.
I don't see. I mean, I could see how you could say it's a lot closer than the odds reflect, and that is why there is value on Francisco Rivera. And so we're going to go with him as the massive underdog tonight on the card.
Yep. And to add on to that, to add some more onto that, if Faber was let's say 10 years ago, and it was Faber against Rivera, and the odds were the same, there would still be quote unquote value on it. But the fact that Faber has been rocked, and the fact that Faber,
Barao cracked that chin.
I mean, and if you watch the first fight they had, and then compare it to his most recent fights, Faber's getting dropped. He hasn't gotten knocked out, but he's getting dropped,
taken down.
I mean, just he's got Dillashaw, he's got Holdsworth, he's got Mendez. He's on his way out. He's got one foot in the grave and one foot on the banana peel. I mean, maybe not that extreme, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's towards the end here, and Rivera plus 400 or more. God, you gotta be kidding me. And I guess you could bet the prop, but God knows what kind of crazy things happen in fights, and then they go to the decision. It's a split and some crazy, just might as well just pick the winner and that be done with it. So Rivera, knockout round 1, and that wraps that up. So let's go to the next one. So now we go to the pay-per-view. I can't wait for that one. I can't scream and yell because it's really, really early in the morning, so there's no need to be doing that.
10:30 in the morning.
And waking up my girlfriend or waking up my dogs, I don't want to do that. So
his actual dogs.
My actual dog, not my MMA dog here, who's up here with me working on the computer. So we got Tony Ferguson versus Abel Trujillo. Now, let's keep in mind that Tony Ferguson fought Michael Johnson, and Michael Johnson is Abel Trujillo's training partner. Michael Johnson and Abel Trujillo do have similar styles. Obviously, Michael Johnson's better, but Abel Trujillo has that power, knockout power. I mean, this guy's just a cannonball shooting out of a cannon. And then Tony Ferguson, to me, he hasn't shown me. Basically, I'm done with the guy, is what I'm trying to say. He hasn't shown me what I've wanted him to show, the capabilities he has, and what he's performed in the octagon. I'm done with it.
Yeah, we gotta quit while we're ahead.
Yeah, that's it. So we're not gonna bet this one, but I am going to go with the upset here. I am going to say Trujillo by knockout, just because Tony Ferguson, I don't like the way he leaves his hands out, and so I'm going to go with the upset here. But if Ferguson can somehow drag, I don't think he can get a nice clean shot, but maybe if he can drag the fight down to the ground and take Trujillo's back or work a submission. He does train at 10th Planet, and he's got some slick stuff on the ground, so it wouldn't surprise me. So that's why I'm going to lay off of it. I'm going to say do not bet, but I'm not interested in laying that kind of price on Tony Ferguson against a guy who's training with Michael Johnson, who beat Tony Ferguson, made Tony look like nothing, and that's it for that one. I mean, not really much to add. Do not bet. A great way to get the fight started. I'll be pulling for the upset, but just sitting back and watching it and relaxing. I do think Tony Ferguson underestimates his ground game. I do think he could get into a lot less brawls and really put guys away with his ground game, but we'll see if he's smart enough to do that. But I'm going to go with Trujillo by knockout and in the second round. Now for the next fights here, oh my God, I can't wait for these four. So we got Todd Duffee against Anthony Hamilton.
The freight train.
The freight train. Now Todd Duffee is a guy my dog and I are extremely familiar with. This guy, I mean, talk about Tony Ferguson. This guy goes in there and just Ah, man, I remember when we were at against when he fought Mike. What UFC event was that?
Yeah, we were at his last two UFC
Was it
fights.
114? Was it 114?
114 and 155.
114 when he fought Mike Russo. Todd Duffee's beating the crap out of this guy. I mean, just beating that shit out of him. And then Mike Russo lands his lands some kind of punch, and then when Todd Duffee's on the ground, he lands his little clown hammer fish like that, and just put it's like that, and it just puts him out. Todd Duffee, is out. I mean, this poor guy. I feel bad. He's got some kind of autoimmune system disease, and poor guy. Nobody. You don't want to see anybody with that. And then all the testosterone replacement, all this stuff. And he was making his comeback after a couple years, and we got Anthony Hamilton here, a guy who's just got nothing to lose, a heavyweight, little gloves, anything can go down. Todd Duffee's chin is terrible. Anthony Hamilton, first round knockout. Woo, man, I can't wait for this one. And the odds, once again, are ridiculous for a fight that has more of a chance to go, 50-50, maybe a little more than that, but we'll see tomorrow night. Dog, you got anything to add to this one?
Yeah, another good reason, as Hector was talking about, why we're picking against Todd Duffee is we were at his last fight almost 2 years ago when Junior and Kane fought for the second time. And this guy, Phil DeFries, who really made a very little impact in the UFC. This guy was causing problems for Todd Duffee. And Todd Duffee's the kind of guy who gets the fight over with early, whether he wins or loses, and he won, but he made it look hard against a guy that's not even supposed to be that great on the feet, and
against his ground specialist.
And so now he's going against a guy like Anthony Hamilton, who knocks guys out. Yeah, all day, Anthony Hamilton over Todd Duffee.
Yeah, I mean that's just craziness. So. Okay, last 3 fights.
I just want to add that that's one of my top 3 picks of the night.
And then we got Travis Browne versus Brendan Big Brown Brendan Schaub. Now with this one, it's a very interesting matchup. I mean, first of all, Travis Browne looked like dog crap against Fabricio Verdum. I didn't know what we were seeing, and then Fabricio Verdum in Hapa Browne's defense, Fabricio Verdum did look excellent. I mean, he looked like the interim champ that he is. But he moved camps from Alliance over to Greg Jackson's, then from Greg Jackson's over here to Glendale Fight Club with Ronda Rousey's trainer. Every single fighter that's gone to Ronda Rousey's striking coach, it's just looked bad. I mean, I'm not one bit sold. And one of the reasons, or maybe you could say excuses, is that, it takes a while to get used to the striking system and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it one bit. And Brendan Schaub, on the other hand, has been training at Black Cows, training with Lyoto Machida, training with that big striker. I forget his name right now. But Jack May. And now you think, well, Jack May sucks. But Jack May on the feet is no joke. And it's obvious. It's obvious to me that Travis Browne's not going to try to take Brendan Schaub down. And so Brendan Schaub, I think he's sneaking in here as a plus 300 underdog. And I think he's got a very good chance here of winning. Between him and Hamilton, we're going to get one of them. And I think very highly of Brendan Schaub. I think Brendan Schaub will get this fight to the ground like he did against Lamar Johnson. But I think he'll submit him here. I think Schaub's been steadily, very, very steadily working on his jiu-jitsu. I think he loves jiu-jitsu. And I think he'll get the submission here in round 2. Dog, what do you got to add to it?
Yeah, this fight is interesting because Brendan Schaub has all the qualities of a prospect in the heavyweight division. And Travis Browne hasn't looked too bad himself. But you have to look at Travis Browne's last 3 wins. 2 of them were defending elbows to a takedown. And the other one was, what was it? Must have been the 15th front kick he threw against Alistair Overeem after surviving that onslaught. And so I feel like Travis Browne was overlooked until his last fight, and Fabricio Verdum exposed him. And yeah, I feel like Brendan Schaub is feeling hurt after that loss to Arlovsky, and he wants to come back strong. And I think he's going to play it real safe.
Yep.
And if he survives round one,
Yep.
it's gonna be his fight.
Yep. That's the key. He's got to survive round one.
Big Browne over Travis Browne.
He's got to survive round one. If he can survive round one, I think in the second round he'll get the submission and possibly even the knockout. I mean, Overeem, who is way past done, pretty much had him on the ropes there. Bigfoot Silva knocked him out. So, and I understand the whole. I was watching that fight and I was thinking to myself, oh, he's hurt. Travis Browne had that injury. But still.
A loss is a loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's a loss, and that's it. So, heavyweights, I got to go with the underdog there.
Especially after Overeem and Bigfoot losing their last fights as big favorites.
Yeah, and the whole camp change. I like this spot for Schaub. Anthony Pettis versus Gilbert Melendez. My goodness, what a fight. I think this one, the odds where they're at right now, where the line opened, wow, you got to be kidding me. Where the line settled at, I think this is where the line should be. And Pettis, just about, minus 275, minus 280. I think Pettis will finish Melendez. I think Pettis is a real killer. I think that against a wrestler, the fight might be more interesting. But I don't see Melendez as that type of wrestler. I think there's better wrestlers in the lightweight division. And Melendez, to me, has had his better days. And I think Pettis is just a star on the rise on the Wheaties box, on the UFC. So I think this is going to be a time for Pettis where he really catapults himself. I think he'll, every time this guy fights, he just shows me something else. And the way he submitted Ben Henderson, are you kidding me? The way he knocked out Donald Cerrone. I mean, this guy is just a freaking killer. And very talented. I'm very excited to see him fight tomorrow night. I've never watched him fight in person. I'm very excited, and I can't wait for this fight. And I've got nothing against Melendez. If I thought he was a live dog, I would say so. But I don't think he is. I think Pettis gets him in round one and catapults us right into a nice winning night. And hollering and screaming, yeah, whoa. And that's it, Dog. What do you have to say for it?
Yeah, if you need any more motivation to bet on Pettis, just watch the weigh-in one more time.
Yeah, I mean, he is in shape. He is possessed. He's ready to fight. Nothing much more to add about that one. And we'll go to the main event. I mean, these two guys, wow, what an entertaining show they put on for us. Johny Hendricks and Robbie Lawler. Johny Hendricks is a fighter who I have a ton of respect for both these guys, but Johny Hendricks, I mean, this guy is just a lifelong fighter, wrestler. I mean, if you watch that GSP fight, there's no way that Johny Hendricks lost that fight. In my opinion, Johny Hendricks won 4 of the rounds against GSP. I mean, this guy is just a beast. He's just got knockout power. In this fight, he's going to use his wrestling. And I think Johny Hendricks will knock out Robbie Lawler in the 3rd round. I think the 1st round, they'll be feeling out process. Lawler will probably stuff the takedowns. In the 2nd round, I think Hendricks will break him with takedowns, punches, and I think in the 3rd round, when we really see the big blow land, the big punch, and put Robbie Lawler's lights out and put the end to the resurgence of the career. But Robbie Lawler, he is a guy who I respect, and if I thought he would win, I would definitely say so. I'd definitely bet so, but I don't think so. I think Kendricks is too much on the rise. He's too fresh, too strong. That camp he's training at, it's got to be one of my favorites now. It's Mark Lehman and Kenny Monday. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I mean, this guy, he's in way better shape than he was the last fight. He's going to use his wrestling. I mean, I love Hendricks here. He's going to be a 4-star pick, and I'm very excited to bet him. And I can't wait for it. Dog, what do you have to add to it?
Yeah, if there's one thing I want to bring up, it's the consistency that Robbie Lawler's had lately. Hendricks hasn't fought since he and Lawler fought back in March, but Lawler's fought twice then, so you think, oh, he's more consistent. But what did he do in those fights? Well, he beat Jake Ellenberger, who we now know is on his way out the door.
Yeah, he's got one. This guy has 1 foot on the grave and 1 foot on the banana peel.
Yeah, and then the Matt Browne fight, that was a very tough one to watch. Even hearing the decision, to hear how one-sided it was not nearly as one-sided as it sounded. And Matt Browne had a few opportunities in that fight, but he just couldn't get the finish. And yeah, I see fresh Hendricks not injured like the last fight, and this fight will be over.
Will be over. Yeah, I think. What do you have him, Doug? What round? 2?
Second round.
Second round. Yeah, I think.
Maybe first.
Wow. Yeah, Hendricks does come out like a freaking just
first minute of the
like
first
a missile.
Round.
Oh God, I'll never forget that knockout he had on John Fitch. I mean, it just everybody was just. I think the picture I'm looking at right now, Hendricks, is when he knocked out Fitch. I mean, this guy. He's got that Castro. Decision. He's got that Castro beard. He's just out there. I mean, he just looks ready to roll.
A big rig.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is just something else, and I'm excited to see him. Like I said, a lot of these guys I am fans of, but I have to put that aside, regardless of who I want to win or this or that. You can't bet like that. For the more seasoned guys, that's obvious, but for some of the younger guys who are betting and stuff, you can't bet based on who you like. If you really like the guy that much, then don't bet at all. Just watch a fight. But yeah, much respect to all these guys, but I really like Kendricks. I really like Pettis. I like Schaub. So let's go over the betting picks here. MMA DAWGS UFC 181. Unfortunately, there are no 5 stars. I'm looking, but I can't find any yet. 4 stars, so medium to large plays. Johny Hendricks and Anthony Pettis. That's 4 stars. 3 stars, we got Brendan Schaub, small to medium play. And, of course, I'll be sending you guys over the text file so you can take a look at that. For all of our clients, they get the text file, so you get to see all the picks in order and all that good stuff. Now, for the bets, one unit equals 1% of the bankroll. I would recommend keeping the ratio the same. But, of course, you can do as you wish.
But don't bet more than you can't afford to lose.
Yeah, exactly. Don't bet. You always go into this with the best of intentions, hoping to just raise the money bags over our heads. Yeah, whoa, yeah, so happy to win. But, sometimes things don't go your way. But I think tomorrow night's going to be the nights where things go our way. God willing, and knock on wood, all the superstitious stuff you want to do, jump up on 1 foot and this and that. But anyway, so Johny Hendricks at -200, 4 units to win 2. Anthony Pettis at -260, 5.20 units to win 2. Brendan Schaub at +300, 2 units to win 6. So that does it for the straight bets. Now, there's going to be a round robin of 2s, and there's going to be 5 fighters in it. Round robin of 2s, 5 fighters in it. Each bet is going to be 0.20 units each. 0.20 units each. So it's going to be 10 parlays. Round robin of 2s, 5 fighters, that's 10 parlays. The total bet is 2 units. If they all win, then we win 25.41 units. And so the 5 fighters are Francisco Rivera at +435. Like I said, I see this one as an MMA math type of fight. Mizugaki beat him, but he beat Faber. It's kind of one of those fights where it's easy for Faber to overlook him. And 35 years old, are you kidding me? Rivera's got the knockout power, fresher, younger fighter. Justin Jones, another interesting situation here. He's got nothing to lose. This, to me, is like a heavyweight fight. This is really what it comes down to. Nothing to lose. Going to go in there. They're going to swing it out. And I think Justin Jones is going to catch him with something. This Corey Anderson guy, I'm not sold on. His striking defense is terrible. And +325, my goodness. Anthony Hamilton at +295. Wow. Against Todd Duffee, we went over that one. And, yeah, it's exciting. Raquel Pennington, +170. I think she's being underrated here. And I know the Smith girls got the ground game, but Pennington's a scrapper, and she's going to be prepared. And then Josh Salmon. I mean, just the emotional drive he's going to have on this one. The skill sets are pretty much on par with each other. So it's going to be a competitive fight with that added motivation. It's going to be salmon. So the grand total is 13.20 units to win 35.41 units. Now these aren't even prop bets. I mean, these are just straight up picks. So that to me makes it even that much more exciting. It's not, they don't have to win inside the distance or by decision or in round one. They're just straight up picks. And 13.20 units to win 35.41. Man, I can't wait. Dog, what do you got? What do you have, Dog? Anything else to add before I put this puppy away?
No. I'm not going to give out all three of my top picks because we don't agree on one. But my top two are going to be Brennan Schaub and Anthony Hamilton.
Oh, man. And the interesting thing about that is that they're both heavyweights. And I mean, these guys are paying 3-1. Hamilton will get up to over 3-1 by tomorrow. That's no doubt about that. Everybody's going to take one look at Todd Duffee, one look at Anthony Hamilton, and mistakenly, I'm putting Duffy in my parlay, and that'll be the parlay buster. So that does it. 36 minutes, and it's time to sign off. I need to get some sleep before we go out there. So have yourself a great night, great weekend. And I hope we're all screaming, howling at the moon. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah. All right, so my dog's going to get to work on this, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Good night.